On the biggest night in Hollywood, something unbelievable happened. Millions of people around the world watched live as a global superstar walked onto the Oscar stage and slapped a comedian in front of the world. No movie, no stunt, no script, just shock. Within seconds, social media exploded, careers were questioned, legacies were rewritten, and one of Hollywood's most beloved stars found himself at the center of the most controversial moment in award show history. But what really led to that slap? What happened behind the scenes? And how did one moment change Will Smith forever? The Academy Awards are supposed to be a celebration of excellence, glamour, prestige, and cinematic achievement. On March 27, 2022, the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles was filled with Hollywood's elite, global celebrities and millions of viewers watching live around the world. That night was meant to be a historic moment for Will Smith, a man who had spent decades building a career defined by charisma, talent, and family-friendly appeal. Few could have imagined that instead of being remembered for winning an Oscar, the night would become infamous for a single, shocking act. For over 3 decades, Will Smith was one of the most bankable and respected stars in entertainment. From the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to blockbuster hits like Independence Day, Men in Black, and Pursuit of Happiness, Smith built an image of positivity, humor, and inspiration. He was seen as a role model, successful, charismatic, and emotionally open about family and personal growth. That carefully crafted image made what happened next even more shocking to the world. As comedian Chris Rock took the stage to present an award, the atmosphere was light and playful until he made a joke referencing Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, comparing her to a character from G.I. Jane. Some in the audience laughed. Others froze. Jada Pinkett Smith, who had openly spoken about her struggle with alopecia, appeared visibly uncomfortable. Will Smith initially laughed, but moments later something changed. In a moment that felt surreal, Will Smith stood up, walked calmly onto the stage, and struck Chris Rock across the face. For a brief second, the world didn't know whether it was real or scripted. Then came the words that erased all doubt. Smith shouted from his seat, demanding Rock keep his wife's name out of his mouth. The room fell silent. Viewers at home gasped. Social media erupted instantly. Inside the theater, confusion spread rapidly. Many celebrities looked visibly uncomfortable. Chris Rock, stunned but composed, attempted to continue the show. The Oscars moved forward, but the atmosphere had completely changed. The celebration was replaced by tension, disbelief, and uncertainty. In homes across the globe, people replayed the clip again and again, asking the same question. Did that really just happen? Just minutes later, Will Smith was announced as the winner of Best Actor for his role in King Richard. As he accepted the award, tears streamed down his face. He apologized not to Chris Rock, but to the Academy and his fellow nominees, describing himself as a vessel of love and a protector. For many viewers, the speech felt deeply emotional, confusing, and controversial. The moment that should have crowned his career instead became one of the most awkward scenes in Oscar history. Within minutes, the internet was divided. Some defended Will Smith, arguing he acted emotionally to protect his wife. Others condemned the violence, insisting there was no justification for physical assault. Memes flooded platforms. Think pieces were published hourly. The slap became a global conversation about masculinity, boundaries, mental health, and accountability far bigger than the Oscars themselves. The fallout was swift. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences launched a formal review. Will Smith eventually resigned from the Academy and was banned from attending Oscar events for 10 years. Projects were paused. Reputation damage was immediate and severe. For the first time in his career, Will Smith faced widespread professional consequences that could not be laughed off or rebranded. Many experts analyzed the incident through the lens of emotional pressure, public scrutiny, and personal struggles. In the years leading up to the Oscars, Smith had publicly discussed his mental health, marriage challenges, and emotional vulnerability. Some argued the slap was the result of bottled-up stress exploding in a single moment. Others insisted that fame does not excuse behavior. The truth, as always, was complex. Before the slap, Will Smith's legacy was nearly untouchable. After it, everything changed. Every future project, interview, and appearance became tied to that moment. Chris Rock continued his career, addressing the incident later through comedy, while Smith retreated from the spotlight to reflect and rebuild. One action, 1 second, altered decades of goodwill. The Will Smith Oscar slap wasn't just celebrity gossip. It became a cultural flashpoint. It forced conversations about violence, respect, comedy limits, emotional control, and public accountability. It reminded the world that even the most admired figures are human and deeply flawed. In the end, the Oscars will be remembered not for the films, the fashion, or the winners, but for a moment that stopped the world. The Will Smith slap serves as a reminder that fame magnifies everything: success, mistakes, and consequences. Hollywood moved on, but history never forgets.